Good day, everyone. Welcome to Pedicasting TV channel. Welcome to our very informative videos in mathematics and other educational videos. Hello to all the senior high school learners all over the world, all over the Philippines, from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So today we are going to discuss about statistics and probability, quarter 3, module 2. The title is Computing the Mean and Variance of a Discrete Probability Distribution. So this is taken from Region 9, Zamboanga Peninsula module for grade 11. So I hope that this would be your reference in studying statistics and probability, especially for the grade 11 learners. So we have here what I need to know. We have the most essential learning competencies. The module contains lesson on computing the mean and variance of a discrete probability distribution. In this lesson, you will learn how to compute the probabilities corresponding to a given random variable. You will also learn how to compute the mean and variance of a discrete probability distribution. After studying this module, you will be able to, number one, compute probabilities corresponding to a given random variable. Number two, illustrate the mean and variance of a discrete random variable. And number three, calculate the mean and variance of a discrete random variable. What I know, so let's now have a pre-test before we will be having the discussion. So you can choose and write the letter of the best answer on a separate sheet of paper. So for number one, you have to try this one. What is the probability that two heads will occur in tossing a pair coin thrice? Is it A 1/2, B 1/8, C 3/8, or D 1/3? Again, what is the probability that two heads will occur in tossing a pair coin thrice? A 1/2, B 1/8, C 3/8, D 1/3. Okay. Number two, which is not true about the probability of all the values of a discrete random variable? A, the probability of each value must be between 0 and 1. B, the sum of the probabilities is equal to 1. C, the probability of the value could be 0. Or D, the value of a random variable could be 0. Okay. Number three, which is used to describe the amount of spread, dispersion, or variability of the items in a distribution? A, mean, B, variance, C, standard deviation, or D, variance and standard deviation. Okay, number four. What is the first step in finding the variance of a discrete probability distribution? A, calculate the standard deviation. B, find the mean of the probability distribution. C, subtract the mean from each value of the random variable x. Or D, multiply the square of the difference of x and the mean by each value of the random variable. Number five, which is not a possible value of a random variable if two coins are tossed? A 0, B 1, C 2, D 3. Okay, just answer. Later on, we will discuss how to get the answer of these questions. Number six, what are the possible values of x for it to be a probability distribution if probability of x is equal to x over 6? A 0, 2, 3, B 1, 2, and 3, C 2, 3, 4, or D 1, 1, 2. For item 7 to 10, refer to the probability distribution below. Our x values is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our P of x is 0.08, 0.21, 0.43, 0.23, and 0.05. Question number 7. What is the mean of the probability distribution? Is it A, 1.95, B, 1.96, C, 2.95, or D, 2.96? Number 8, which is the variance of the probability distribution? A 0.96, B 9.6, C 0.096, or D 9.06. Number 9, what is the standard deviation of the probability distribution? A 0.97, B 0.98, C 0.96, or D 0.99. And number 10, which statement is true about the mean of the probability distribution? A, it tells us the average of the items in a distribution. B, it shows how far apart the elements of the set are spread out. C, it describes the amount of variability of the items in a distribution. Or D, it describes the amount of spread and dispersion of the items in a distribution. Okay? Are you done answering for numbers 1 up to 10? So to check that one, let's now have what's in activity. Activity 1, pair choice. Choose direction. Choose and write the letter of the correct answer in a separate sheet. Consider the situation below and answer the questions that follows. So this is our directions. Those appear pointwise. Let X be the random variable representing the number of tails that occur. For number 1, which is the correct sample space for tossing a pair of pointwise? Is it A, HT, or the set H, head and tail? B, the set containing HH, HT, or TT? Again, H represents head, T represents the tail. C, the set containing HH, HT, TH, TT, or D, the set containing HH, TT. Number 2, what are the possible values that a random variable X can take? A, 1 and 2, B, 0, 1, 2, C, 0, 1, or D, 1, 2, and 3. Number 3, what is the probability that two tails will occur in a toss? A, 1/4, B, 1/2, C, 1/5 or 1/5, D, 2/3. Number 4, what is the probability that one tail will occur in a toss? A, 1/4, B, 1/2, C, 1/5, D, 2/3. Number 5, what is the sum of the probabilities of all the values of the random variable X? Is it A, 1/2, B, less than 1, C, 0, D, 1? Okay, let's now have what's new activity, make me complete. For the direction, complete the table below by finding the product of X and the probability of X. So you are going to find the product of X and the probability. So for the values for X, we have 1, 6, 11, 16, and 21. The values for the probability P of X is 1, 7, 1/7, 3/7, 1/7, 1/7. So all you have to do to find the product of X times P of X, you have to multiply 1 times 1/7. So that is 1 times 1, 1. So you can write here 1/7. Then continue number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You just multiply 6 times 1/7. Okay, then you write the answer. After that, you add all the X times of X so that you can get the total. What is it? So this is now our discussion about the previous activities that you have answered a while ago. So computing the mean and variance of a discrete probability distribution. So what do you mean by mean of the probability distribution? So we have the mean of a discrete random variable X is a weighted average of the possible values that the random variable can take. Unlike the sample mean of a group of observations, which gives each observation equal weight, the mean of a random variable weights each outcome X sub I according to its probability P sub I. The common symbol for the mean, also known as the expected value of X, which is the M or the mu symbol for the mean. The mean of a random variable with a discrete probability distribution is given by the following. So we have here our mean M or the mu is equal to the first value of X multiplied to the first value of the probability X or the Px sub 1 plus the second value of x sub 2 times P of x sub 2 plus x sub 3 times P of x sub 3 plus until the last value of x sub n times the probability x sub n. Or the mean is equal to the summation of x times P of x. You have to multiply the values for x and P of x. After multiplying, you get the sum so that you can get the mean. Where x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, and x sub n are the values of the random variable x. And Px sub 1, Px sub 2, Px sub 3, Px sub n are the corresponding probabilities. So to find the mean, we need to establish a valid probability distribution. To determine if the distribution is a valid probability distribution, we must satisfy the two properties for the probability distribution of a discrete random variable, which are as follows. Number one property, the probability of each outcome is between 0 and 1. So meaning it will not exceed to 1 and not below 0. And second property, the sum of all the probabilities is equal to 1. So take note that all of the sum of the probabilities is equal to 1. Okay, are you ready now for the first example? Okay, number 1, we have example 1. 2 balls are drawn in succession without replacement from an urn containing 5 red balls and 6 blue balls. Let Z be the random variable representing the number of blue balls. We have A, find the values of the random variable Z. B, construct probability distribution for the variable Z. So let's now have the steps. Number 1, step 1, determine the sample space. Let B represent the blue balls and R for the red balls. So our solution, S or the sample space contains RR, that is red, red, red and blue, blue and red, and blue, blue balls. So this is our sample space. Second step, count the number of the blue balls in each outcome in the sample space and assign this number to this outcome. So here, we have our possible outcomes. Okay, we have RR. You just copy here from the sample space. Ilagay mo lang dito, RR, RB, BR, and BB. So what is our RR? The value of Z. Remember that our Z is the blue ball. Represents the blue balls. So the number of blue balls for RR here, wala siyang blue. So automatically, our value of random variable Z is 0. Kasi walang B. Second, RB, it has only one B, that is 1. BR, again, we have 1. BB, we have 2. Because there are 2 balls. Step 3, there are 3 possible values of the random variable Z, representing the number of blue balls 0, 1, 2. Assign the probability values of P of Z to each value of the random variable. So there are 4 possible outcomes in blue balls false ones. So we can say that the number of blue balls we have from the given value of the Z, 0, 1, and 2. So i-copy mo lang dito sa number of blue balls, 0, 1, 2. So only once lang yung 1 dito. It was written twice. Isa lang ang isulat. You have 1. And after that, count the number. So we have the probability. Ilan ba ang 0 sa value ng variable Z? So we have here only 1 lang ang 0. So lagyan mo 1. Over the 4. Ano ba yung 4? Saan galing ang 4? Dito sa possible outcomes. Kasi meron tayong 4 na possible outcomes. We have RR, RB, BR, and BB. So count 1, 2, 3, 4. So ilagay mo lang dito 1 over 4. Again yung 1, isa lang kasi ang value ng 0 out of the 4 possible outcomes. Kaya 1/4 ang probability. How about sa number of blue balls 1? So as you can see, meron siyang 1 here, dalawa. So lagyan mo lang 2 over 4. Or that is equal to 1/2. So the probability of 1 is 1/2. Meaning, pangalawang beses siya nag-possible outcome. Sa 2 naman, isa lang ang 2. So, lagyan mo lang 1/4. Again, yung 4 denominator natin is how many possible outcomes? You have 1, 2, 3, 4. So, that is our probability. So, let's now have the probability distribution of discrete random variable z. So, we have number of bluebos 0, 1, 2. Our probability P of z is 1/4, 1/2, 1/4. In the above distribution, the probabilities 1/4, 1/2, and 1/4 are all between 0 and 1. Diba? Wala siyang na-exceed ng 1. Wala ding below 0. Okay, and when we check the sum of all the probabilities, we could observe that the sum is 1. Pag i-add natin ang 1/4 plus 2/4 plus 1/4, diba 2/4 is 1/2? So magiging 1 ang sum. Thus, the above distribution is a valid probability distribution for a discrete random variable. Okay, sorry for the baby is shouting. In order to compute for the mean of a discrete random variable, we need to follow the following steps. Step 1, construct the probability distribution for the random variable. So ang unang gawin natin ay mag-construct tayo ng probability distribution. Second, we multiply the value of the random variable x by the corresponding probability. Kung ano yung x, i-multiply lang sa p of x. Tapos, step 3, add the result to obtain in step 2 to get the mean. Okay, let's now proceed to example number 2. What is the average number of spots that would appear in rolling a die? So we have here, again in a die, how many spots? There are 6, di ba? Yung dice, pag marami na dice na kasi yun. So we have 1 spot, meron siyang nakadatid doon. 2, mayroong 1, 2, 3, mayroong 4 spots, 5, and 6. So the probability for that is 1/6 kasi isa lang naman yung spot in one die. So 1/6 because there are 6 spots. Sa 2 spots naman, 1/6 pa rin ang probability and until 6 spots. So the same ang kanilang probabilities. So the number of spots and the probability. The second step, we are going to multiply x or the number of spots. This is represented by variable x. So we have 1 times 1/6. You have 1 times 1 is 1/6. No, 1 times 1/6 is 1/6. 2 times 1/6, that is 2/6. 3 times 1/6 is 3/6. 4 times 1/6 is 4/6. 5 times 1/6 is 5/6. And 6 times 1/6 is 6/6. Okay, let's now have to add all the given sum. So 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10, plus 5, 15, plus 6 is 21. So the numerator is 21 over, since they have the same denominator, you just affix the denominator 6. 21 divided by 6 is equal to 3.5. Therefore, this is now our mean of the given probability distribution. The value obtained in step 3 is called the mean of the random variable x or the mean of the probability distribution of x. So the mean, which is 3.5, tells us that the average number of spots that would appear in a roll of a die. So meron siyang mean, the average is 3.5. Ang kanyang number of spots average. That is example number 2. Okay, shall we begin now our example number 3? Shall we proceed? Let's now have example number 3. The probabilities that a doctor operates on 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 patients in any day are 0.15, 0.10, 0.20, 0.25, 0, and 0.30 respectively. Question letter A. What is the probability that a doctor operates more than 5 patients in a day? B. Find the average number of patients that a doctor operates on a day. For solution, we have A is greater than because that is more than 5 patients. So the probability of x greater than 5 is equal to the probability of x equals 6 plus the probability of x equals 7. So that is greater than 5. We have here the given 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ang number of patients. So sa greater ng 5, meron tayong probability. We have tayong number of 6, 7 patients. So ano ang value ng 6 patients is, this probability is for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is 0.25 for the 6 patients and 0.30 for the 7 patients. You add, we have 0.25 plus 0.30. So that is the 0.55 is the probability for greater than 5. Letter B, finding the average. Steps, construct the probability distribution. So you have the solution, number of patients 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is from the given above, this one. Then you copy the probabilities. We have 0.15, 0.10, 0.20, 0.25, 0.30. Okay, then after that, multiply the x to the p of x. 3 times 0.15, that is 0.45. 4 times 0.10, that is 0.40. We have 5 times 0.20, that is 1.00. 6 times 0.25, that is 1.5 or 1.50. 7 times 0.30 is 2.10. After that, you add the given product. So 0.45 here plus 0.40 plus 1.00 plus 1.50 plus 2.10. So we have the sum is 5.45. This is now our mean of the probability distribution. So the average number of patients that a doctor operates in a day is 5.45. So this is now our mean or the average number of patients. Let's now have the variance of the probability distribution. The variance of a set of numbers measures how far apart the elements of the set are spread out. So a variance of 0 indicates that all the values are identical. Variance is always non-negative. A small variance indicates that the data points tend to be very close to the mean expected value and to each other, whereas a high variance indicates that the data points are very spread out around the mean and from each other. The variance, together with the standard deviation, describe the amount of spread, dispersion, or variability of the items in a distribution. So meaning yung variance at saka yung standard deviation, yun pala yung answer sa previous activity, no? For the amount of spread, dispersion, or variability. So we have here to calculate for the variance and standard deviation. We have 5 steps to follow. Step 1, find the mean of the probability distribution. Second, subtract the mean from each value of the random variable x. Step 3, square the results obtained in step 2. 4, multiply the results obtained in step 3 by the corresponding probability. And step 5, get the sum of the results obtained in step 4. So with the formula for the variance of a discrete probability distribution is given by the formula. So we have here, okay, we have sigma squared is equal to the summation of x minus mu or mean squared times p of x. Then our standard deviation, you just take the square root of the variance to arrive the answer for the standard deviation. We have the formula. Let's now have example number 4. What is the variance of the outcome you would get from rolling a single 6-sided die? So again, what is the variance of the outcome you would get from rolling a single 6-sided die? The first step here is to identify the sample space of rolling a single die. So we have here the sample space of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So next, we need to construct the probability mass function. So we have 1 over 6, 1 over 6, 1 over 6. All of the probabilities are 1 over 6 for the 6 number of spots. Are we now ready to find the variance? Okay, so we have step 1. We are going first to find the mean. Step 1. So we have to multiply each of the value for x to the probability plus second Okay, and so on. Okay, a while ago, our mean is 3.5. So after that one, step 2, we will subtract the value for the mean. Okay, so we have our x is 1, subtract to the mean 1 minus 3.5 is equal to negative 2.5. For second, we have 2, 2 minus 3.5 is negative 1.5, and so on. Then square the x minus m. So we have here our x minus m is negative 2.5. Multiply by itself, that is 6.25. It becomes positive. It is 2.5 times 2.5 is 6.25. 1.5 times 1.5 is 2.25. And so on. You square the numbers or the answer for x minus m. So multiply the results obtained in step 3. So for example here, our x minus m squared, meron tayong value. I-multiply natin sa probability. Ang probability natin ay 1 over 6. So 6.25 times 1 over 6 is 1.042. So each of this one multiply to 1 over 6. Then add this one, add the values from the last step 4. After that, you will get the sum of 2.918, which or 2.92. Thus, ruling a 6-sided die has variance of 2.22. So this one, ang sum pala ng x minus m squared times q of x is 2.92. This is the variance. Okay, so that is now our answer. To take the standard deviation, i-take mo lang yung square root ng 2.92 para makuha ang standard deviation. Okay, you can also have example number 5, the same procedure lang. Multiply, get the mean, find the variance, then add the result here to find the variance. Then find the standard deviation by taking the square root of the variance. So you can have what's more activity. Okay, direction, identify the following distribution is a valid probability distribution for a discrete random variable. Put check if the distribution is valid and x is not valid. So pag probability distribution, you just add lang sa p of x dito. Pag magiging equal to 1, that is probability distribution. Pag hindi equal to 1, then you add the p of x, that is x. This one, you also add this one, the p of x. Get the sum. Again, pag equal to 1, probability distribution, you put check. If x, kung hindi siya mag-equal to 1. For the letter B, calculate the mean and variance by completing the table below. So you just insert na lang yung mga answers or yung mga sagot. For x times p of x, i-multiply lang ang 3 times 0.15, dito na yung answer ilagay. For x number 2, we have x minus mean. So 2 times first compute the mean pala dito. So after getting the answer for 1, you add this portion here to get the mean. Then after that, subtract x to the mean. Ito na yung mga answers. So you get, for number 2, subtract mo lang yung 10 minus mean. Ano yung total dito? Yun ang mean. Then the rest, follow the steps. Okay, for your answer sa mean, dito mo ilagay. Then number 9, number 10. Then another activity, or what I have learned all by yourself activity. Make a table similar to the one below and perform what is asked. So the same procedure lang, ilagay mo lang dito yung x, values, merong 3, 5, 7, dito mo ilagay. Tapos yung p of 3, p of 5, p of 7, di ba yung value natin sa 3, p of 3, ito pala ang 7 over 30. So ilagay mo lang dito 7 over 30. Then, p of 5, dito yung 5, p of 5 is 1/3. Dito mo ilagay ang 1/3. P of 7, dito ang 7 is 13 over 30, dito sa 6. Then follow the steps in finding the variance. What I can do. So you can have another set of activity. Consider situation below and answer the questions that follow. So we can have use a separate sheet of paper. So the same procedure lang, mag-add ka lang dito ng another column to find the variance. So add column here to solve the problem. Then we have the assessment based on our discussions. You answer the assessment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, yun lang po ang ating discussion for this day. So, I hope you have learned about how to compute the mean by multiplying x times p of x, each of the row, then you add all the answers, the product, you add, get the sum to find the average or the mean of the probability distribution. For the variance, follow the formula. After multiplying x times p of x, for the mean, you subtract x minus the mean. The variable for x, isubtract mo sa mean. Then after that column, you square by itself, x times m squared. Then after that, multiply na naman sa probability p of x. Then i-add mo lahat ang answers ng product to find the variance or to get the variance. To get the standard deviation, i-take mo lang ang square root ng variance. So thank you very much for watching. If you have some questions, you can post, comment below. Don't forget to like, click, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you very much, and watch for the next video lesson for our next video. Thank you very much.